I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable.
I'm unbeatable. Couple minutes on the score. Every time they wanna clash, the winners kicking through the door. I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stock, and we're running out the clock. I fail once, never stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah.
Welcome to the British Basketball League YouTube channel. The run into the playoffs may be hotting up, but tonight's teams are looking to avoid the dreaded wooden spoon. This season, the games between Manchester and Plymouth have been very competitive. The Giants won by a total of 5 in their first 2 matchups before Plymouth won the last game. The Patriots are the form team going into this game. They had a terrific win against Bristol last week. Calling this one is Josh Bett and the Leicester Riders floor general, Kimball McKenzie.
Thank you, Tahir, and welcome, British Basketball League fans, to the Plymouth Pavilions for tonight's game in the British Basketball League between the City Patriots and the Manchester Giants. Well, I'm currently here with the floor general of the Leicester Riders, Kimball McKenzie.
Oh, he leaves Rodney Glasgow on the floor and knocks down the mid-range.
Don't need to draw many plays for that as Kimball McKenzie just streaks to the left-hand side. McKenzie goes right at it. Give him the end one.
Well, welcome, Basel fans. I'm indeed here with the floor general of the Leicester Riders, Kimball. Welcome. These two teams tonight, it's all about pride.
It's all about pride, man. Any basketball player who's made it to the professional rank should have enough pride to go out there and compete their hardest. You know, whether it's a YMCA on a Friday, you never want to lose a game.
Well, we're going to take a look at the starting fives for these two teams, and we will begin with the Plymouth City Patriots. Well, Paul James will be going with a starting lineup of Levi, Atwood, Wiley, Hart, and LVC Dusha. Well, of course, for the visitors, the Manchester Giants coach Brian Simone in his starting 5 tonight, we're going to see Lawton, Boursier, Stampley, Lee, and Lewis. Well, Kimball, at the moment, we got to talk about some of the key players to look out for, and I guess the first one, we got to talk about TJ Atwood of the Plymouth City Patriots.
Yeah, he's been excellent this season. He's staying about his business. He's been giving everybody problems. You can see the numbers there. He's just been really efficient. He leads the entire league in 2-point field goals made, and he's a matchup problem.
Well, of course, there's your player to look out for the City Patriots, but for the Manchester Giants, William Lee, what can we say about him?
Yeah, William Lee is really important to this team. I think he needs to play really well tonight if they want to come out of this with a win. He shoots the 3 really well. He's long. He's a guy that maybe you can't really switch onto because he could take you down low, and he's a rim protector.
Well, of course, the Plymouth City Patriots coached by that man, Paul James, and he knows his team. It's all about pride tonight. Basel fans, we will be back momentarily. Well, welcome back, basketball fans. We're live here at the Plymouth Pavilions for this game in the British Basketball League between our hosts, the Plymouth City Patriots, and the visitors, the Manchester Giants. Well, I'm your commentator, Josh Bennett, alongside the floor general of the Leicester Riders, Kimball McKenzie. And Kimball, I guess many fans right now are probably very excited to see you here live in the commentary, but, you know, let's go to you and the Leicester Riders. What is going to be the ultimate expectations for your team for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, when you sign with a team like Leicester, I think the expectations are pretty clear, and that's to compete for championships. Obviously, you know, it's been an up and down season for us. Tough one last night against Bristol. That's always the expectation, to win a ton of ball games, to be really good. I mean, that's it.
Now, of course, you've played against both these two teams this season. Let's start with the Manchester Giants. It's been a really tough run of form for them recently, but what are some aspects about them tonight that could see them get a victory here on the road?
Yeah, listen, I mean, they got talent. We mentioned Will Lee before the show. Evan Walsh coming off the bench always provides a spark. He's super aggressive in transition, can get to the hoop. Mason Boursier, kind of their true point guard. Nick Lewis can go get 30 on any given night. I mean, you look up and down this league, there's no one who's going to just roll over. They've had a tough run of form, as you mentioned, but there's no team that you can come in here and lay down and think you can get the win.
And, of course, you played with Evan Walsh. You know what he's about. You made a very good point. We spoke about this earlier. It took a bit of time for him to get into the rotation at Leicester, but towards the latter end of last season, he pushed his way through. Are you quite surprised to see how great he's been this season, or was this a sign of things to come?
No, I'm not surprised, if I'm being honest. He's always been a player who's high IQ. He understands the game well. He knows the right spots to be in. Defensively, he's really solid. He's a pretty big guard, so I'm not surprised to see him playing well at all.
Well, Basel fans currently watching live on YouTube, TikTok, and of course Twitch, as that you can see already, Hart getting the first 2 points. We welcome you. This is the British Basketball League. Manchester Giants in town against the Plymouth City Patriots. Well, already 2 points off the get-go for the City Patriots. Giants, of course, missing 2 key players tonight, Jamel Anderson being one of them. So they're going to have a thinner lineup. Stapley getting fouled. Already going inside the paint, and you know, you like to see that from the visiting team.
Great opening set there for Manchester. They're going at Atwood. They're trying to establish early paint position. And here's another player, Stapley, who, you know, he can get hot from the perimeter. He's tenacious on the yellow glass. Obviously, this isn't the start you want. A layup off the jump ball, but good opening possession there for Manchester.
Not quite the assist that Austin Lorden would have been looking for early on as Stapley makes the first free throw. Of course, it's been a very tough season for both these two teams, especially for the Giants, a bit of a roller coaster. You know, it's interesting. Plymouth, as of lately, you mentioned this, they've actually been playing a lot better.
They've been playing a lot better as of late. Again, we played them down there. They beat us earlier, and then we just snuck out with a double overtime win. They go into Bristol and win. So this is a team that's been playing pretty good basketball, especially offensively. I think they, you know, they put you in tough positions with these 2 foremen, Wiley and Atwood. I think they're trying to go to him here. And yeah, they're crafty. Levi on the glass is tough, so they've been playing pretty well, man.
Well, going inside the Levi, and again, the battle of the towers here tonight. It was a nice play there between Jacob Wiley and Spencer Levi. Giants trying to get into a set, trailing by 2 points. Walton finding Boursier. Going down to Stapley. This could be a potential mismatch. Got it by Hart, but here comes a double team. Stapley trying to get out of it. Wow, Kimball, foul was called there, but could there have been a hint of a traveling violation?
Potentially, but here they go. They're trying to go right back to Stapley inside. Looks like Coach Simonian's really trying to establish this paint early. I like the game plan. You know, you establish that paint, and then hopefully the other things open up. So that's a good early signs for Manchester.
Both teams going with a lot of size. Key thing, of course, William Lee, one of those bigs that can stretch to the perimeter. Who is finding Stapley? Trying to isolate. He has to take a tough one over Atwood, and no problem for the big man.
Good move.
That's what you'd expect from Nick Stapley, of course.
Yeah, that's a good move. A little hop step in there. Tough to guard. Atwood didn't want to pick up his second foul. Yeah, keep going at him. If I'm Manchester, I'm going right back at Atwood and Wiley. If we can get them in early foul trouble.
Well, that is BEA. Beautiful spin out by Jacob Wiley. I mean, he went in with the Iceman finger roll.
That's tough. These 4 men, they're quite dynamic. You know, you switch a small guard onto them, you're going to be in trouble. And if you leave these bigger players on them, they really have good foot speed in that mid-post area.
Well, again, Giants relentlessly going down low to Stapley. Oh, it's interesting. That offense, every time it's gone inside the post to him.
Yeah, that's what, 3-4 times in a row now. So, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep going to him.
Dusha finding Hart, trying to split the defense, and well, Brian Simonian was wide open, but unfortunately he cannot take a three-pointer for the City Patriots. Another turnover here, well, costly turnover for that matter.
Good start here for Manchester. You know, I think coming on the road, making a long trip down, this is exactly what you want. They look fired up over there. I saw a fist bump out of Simonian, so they seem motivated to get this win.
Well, it's all about pride for these two teams, finishing the season on a strong note. Remember, neither team will be available for contention for the postseason. Trying to go down low, and that's just a little bit too much on it. It goes out of bounds, so back-to-back turnovers for both the Giants and, of course, the City Patriots. Well, again, Basel fans, if you are watching live on YouTube, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the British Basketball League, and also follow the league on X, Instagram, and all other social media platforms. Well, Dusha go and pick and roll, finding Levi. That's got to be a charge. Good defense by Austin Lawton. Well, that was a bulldozer.
Yeah, maybe Levi needs to stop short there and try and find a cutter on the weak side. I thought LVC made a good read, just getting off the ball and throwing it to the short roll. Probably better to spray it and let the offense keep developing.
Of course, if you're Manchester, knowing how big Plymouth are, is it going to be an idea to try and condense and collapse in the paint?
Yeah, sure. I mean, they're gonna present their challenges. You know, especially with Cameron Copeland coming off the bench. Obviously, Joe Hart can shoot the three. Here we go.
Here we go. It's going to go up, and again, the foul's going to be committed by William Lee. TJ Atwood maybe just took a little bit too much time to try and get the layoff off, but when you got William Lee chasing you down, Kimball, what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah, primetime shot blocker. Obviously, super athletic and bouncy. You know, good to contest there and save 2 points.
Well, here's a look at the replay. Just slows out right there, I think. But again, I don't think anybody could have. We'd have to go at super turbo speed to avoid that one.
Yeah, good hustle there by Lee. Again, those are the plays that, you know, show that these guys care. They're coming in here trying to win the game. He hustled there from, you know, he was behind. It looked like everybody came and saved. I don't know, maybe he makes the free throws, but still, it's those effort plays that matter early in ball games.
I think no argument, of course, TJ Atwood's probably been the best player this season for the Plymouth City Patriots. Because one thing, you speak with Paul James, you speak with many of the players, he comes in every night to practice and he just gives everything. And sometimes I'm hearing stories, he stays after practice. I mean, he's a prime-time professional.
Yeah, you can just tell by his demeanor. He's just about his business. You know, I got the chance to spend a little bit of time with him at the All-Star game there down in London. Good finish there by Dusha. And yeah, you could just tell he loves the game. He's serious about the game, which you love to see. You know, he's early in his career, and I'm sure he'll have a really good career ahead of him.
4-point lead to the Patriots, converting all the Giants' turnovers at the moment. And again, Giants going down low to Lawton this time. Goes for a tough fadeaway. That takes a sky arc, and that's way off the mark. But yeah, let's talk about this arena, the Plymouth Pavilion. It's a tough place to play. I mean, you got a couple of factors. It's a theater, but also it's one hell of an atmosphere.
Yeah, it's tricky, man. The lighting's different. They blow a bunch of smoke in warm-up, so you're kind of breathing that in for the first 2 minutes of the game. It's definitely different. It's pretty cool. You know, you can see in the background there that it's a different type of atmosphere. It always gets loud, super passionate fans. Shout out to the fans down there. You know, obviously another down season, but they are passionate. They're loud, and yeah, I mean, they even travel well. So shout out to those fans.
Of course, they also have a phenomenal mascot, Pat the dog, who many would argue is the MVP of all mascots this season. But, you know, many other mascots would have something to say about that.
Yeah, I'll give the Riders mascot a shout out there. That's my guy.
No unconscious bias on that one, though. Sideline ball here to the Patriots. 6 minutes just over to go here in the first quarter. Well, we're under 10 here on the shot clock. Dusha has to get something going. Down low to Wiley. Wiley goes up. Oh, had the finish there, but he's got to put that one away.
Here's where he's tough.
Howard goes in, finishing.
Yeah,
under
really good footwork
pressure
in there. I mean, he gets in there, he pivots around, he takes his time, he uses his shot fakes. It's such an underrated skill, you know, to tell someone, go in there and pump fake. Yeah, it's easier said than done when you're moving fast in a basketball game. He's so patient in there, and really good finisher.
Well, Bose left wide open. He can't make these, but that one's just off to the right. Giants trying to battle for offensive rebounds, but Atwood making it very tough for Stampley. Can't Plymouth extend. Well, Douche is just trying to get them set into a half-court offense. Atwood making one too many passes, possibly. Again, we're under 10. Wiley attacks, kicks out. Douche has got to shoot this one. Uncontested three in the corner, but it hits the front iron. A bit of a disorganized offense there from the Patriots. Probably could have taken a few shots earlier in their offense.
Yeah, spacing was a little off there, but you see them snapping it around. You know, there must have been 6 passes in that possession, and that's what they've been doing well, is really moving that ball well, putting you in tough positions.
Oh, great defense by Jacob Wiley, contesting the three-pointer. Basel fans, 4:40 to go. We'll take a short break, and we will be back momentarily. Welcome back, basketball fans. We're live here at the Plymouth Pavilions for this game between the Plymouth City Patriots and the visitors, the Manchester Giants. Currently, it is a lead to the hosts. Remember, both teams are unable to contend for the postseason playoffs, but at the moment, it's all up right. I'm your commentator, Josh Bennett, alongside Leicester Riders, Kimball McKenzie. Oh, Kimball, at the moment, Giants only 6 points, and all 6 have come from Nick Stampley.
Yeah, this is an important couple minutes here for Manchester to...
Oh, my goodness! Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Jacob Wiley with no regard.
Wow. He's had a couple of those this year where he is a supreme athlete. Typically they come in transition, throwing him a lob, but that's a tremendous follow-up there.
Well, foul is going to be called on the ground, but let me tell you, it's almost like somebody took something from Jacob Wiley, and he decided to put that back. Oh, my goodness. Wiley cleaning up. I mean, look, Giants had the last donut, but nobody called box out.
Wow, that's impressive, man. Only in my dreams have I made plays like that, or on a 7'5" hoop. Supreme athlete. And again, here's Plymouth on the glass. You know, they're third in the league this year on the offensive glass. Obviously, it's typically Spencer Levi, but all these guys are very active.
Well, the follow-up by Lordson getting the offensive rebound, turning it over. And Evan Walsh has checked into the game for the Giants. Maybe that will start to kickstart their offense in.
Yeah, look for Evan to come in and try and bring a spark. Good take there by Lawton. He understands that, you know, this last 3:45 of the first quarter is going to be pretty important for them. Look for him to get out in transition, try and get a couple layups, get to the free throw line, and spark this team a little bit.
Well, that was a good play by Joe Hart, but it's tough when you are a backcourt player and you make those penetrations, because when you're up against smart help side defenders, they will just sit themselves down if they know you're out of control, and they'll initiate those charges.
For sure, something that Lawton has done well all year. You know, on our scouting report, one of the things is that he likes to take those charges. Maybe not as much of a rim protector, but he's really good at timing that charge. It's a skill in and of itself. Here's Stampley again.
Stampley went for the pump fake. Wiley gets a rebound. And Jules D'Ancoto checking into the game along with Copeland. So Plymouth go into their lineups. Wiley trying to isolate, nowhere to go here. Pulls up from 15. And again, beautifully tucked away by Jacob Wiley.
Wiley and Atwood, these 4 men for Plymouth, in that mid-range. It's a difficult position to defend, and they're playing well right now.
Well, 10-0 run at the moment, just under 4 minutes, and a foul's going to be called. And, you know, you talk about Evan Walsh, and I've said this time and time again this season. He might be one of the best, if not the very best, in the league as a backcourt player who gets to the rim.
Yeah, listen, he puts a ton of pressure on the officials. He knows how to manipulate the ball there. As you see, he kind of stretches it out so that when the players come and try and strip it, they're probably coming down on his arms. So it's something that James Harden in the NBA does really well. Yeah, he knows how to use his body. There's an art to get into the line, and he does it really well.
Well, people need to remember he actually made his debut in the British Basketball League with the Surrey Scorchers during the lockdown of 2020-21 before going and playing with the Leicester Rise. Now, when he was at Leicester, he was actually doing his Masters, I believe, at Loughborough.
Yeah, he joined us. That would have been actually 2 years ago, about halfway through the season. And yeah, I mean, just a professional. Awesome to have Evan around. High IQ player, talented, fiery, good move.
Well, the dime drop there for Jules Dangakoto. Again, he has had his struggles this season, but moment now, Nicholas Lewis finding Stampley. This time he takes the 3 in the corner. Interesting with Nick Stampley. You know, he's a very inconsistent three-point shooter, but, you know, volume speaks truth that he does take a lot every game.
Yeah, he does. There have been times this year we were down in Manchester and he lit us up from out there. One of those guys that maybe the percentages aren't great, but he's definitely capable of making them, especially on a good, you know, offense like that. Nick Lewis down the slot and skips it to the corner. Yeah, he's definitely capable of burying, you know, 3-4 in a game.
Giants going to his own defense, trying to disrupt the Patriots offense. Now looking to cut this down. Trailing by 9 points at the moment. Well, Callum Jones also coming into the lineup as Lewis goes for a Hail Mary three-pointer. Well, let's see if Manchester stays in his own defense, because what I want to ask you, Kimball, is, you know, what's the usual way that you guys would break down a 2-3 zone?
Yeah, listen, a lot of times teams like to run their typical man offense and just kind of let it develop. There's Evan trying to draw a foul. Maybe it was. But again, when you can get the ball to the middle, that's always a big key. If you can get the ball into that foul line area, typically the defense has to respect that and collapse in some ways, and then you can spray to shooters. I think important, though, not to get stagnant.
Well, timeout's going to be called by the Plymouth City Patriots. They lead this one by 9 points with 1:34 to go in the first quarter. We're going to take a look at Nick Stampley's perimeter shooting. You know, we talked about this. Here was a penetration by Nicholas Lewis. And, you know, quite interesting. You know, do you find in this game the defense are putting a bit more pressure on Nick Lewis to prevent him from taking his usual volume three-point shooting?
Yeah, maybe. He's gotten a couple up here. That's a really good drive and pass there. It's a tough pass for a guard to make, is that weak side skip. Obviously, he's on his right hand, which makes it a little easier, but great read. I'd love to see him continue to put pressure on that paint and continue to try and get his guys good looks.
Well, there you can see the last 4 games of the Manchester Giants, all losses against the Sharks, Scorchers, Newcastle Eagles, and the Caledonia Gladiators. Of course, you know, it's tough when you're right at the bottom. I mean, you don't know what it's like to be at the bottom because you're always used to competing at the top with the Riders. But, you know, when you're dead down there, you know, you got to find something intrinsically to perform because, you know, you're not just playing for your team, you're also playing for your future as well. Really tough,
Obviously, when things aren't going your way or the vibes aren't right. But like you say, these guys are all professional basketball players, whether it's in the British Basketball League, whether it's back with the same club next year, or whether it's elsewhere in Europe. These guys are all going to want to play next year. When these teams come looking, they're going to say, okay, what type of player was he when things weren't going well? What type of teammate was he? How did he perform when, you know, it's a Friday game in Plymouth that didn't matter? So these things are important.
Well, we're under 90 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Giants, of course, well, neither team with any fouls to give, so any more fouls, they will be going to the free throw line. Copeland trying to find the separation. He turns it over. Well, this is what Evan Walsh likes to do, but again, he turns it right back over. And that's usually Evan Walsh's bread and butter, getting into the open court. And, you know, you said he likes to manipulate, make that contact. He likes to get to the free throw line.
I was just about to say, that's a, you know, it fell right into his lap there. Those are great early in the game when it comes to, and you can get a one-on-one matchup in transition. He's going to want that one back. It should have been an easy right-hand layup for him.
Well, Harris also checking in for the Manchester Giants. Dangakoto here in the front, in the backcourt. And they go to the high post, finding Wiley, but time is winding down. Well, we got an ankle breaker. Dangakoto goes in and gets it to drop.
Ooh. Whoa. Obviously not a crazy move there, but had him off balance, and good finish by Dangakoto. He's been a lot better these past couple games. You know, playing with a lot of confidence, shooting the ball well. Tough drive there to his left hand.
Well, Harris, of course, wasn't happy about going to the ground. He responds down the other end, but let's take a look again. Well, call the first aid department. We may have a couple of broken ankles on that play. What a finish.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Dangakoto as of late. Like I said, you know, I know he was a really hot prospect coming up here in the UK, and he's showing that here. He's been playing with a lot of confidence and being a good leader off this bench for PJ.
Well, Dangakoto, you mentioned being a hot prospect. I mean, he played in some of the biggest academies in European basketball. Cedevita Ljubljana, also played for the Fraport Skyliners, and also played in the FIBA Eurobasket. But you know, he has had his struggles, but you made a good point. He has improved his play so far in the last few games.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been important for them. Just shot making off the bench. Someone to come in and run the show when LVC's not, especially with Faulkner going down with an injury. There's Evan putting pressure on the defense. He's going straight downhill, straight to the rim, and he's going to put pressure on the officials to make a call.
I mean, he's tough, of course. It's a little Euro step, bit of contact. It's a very smart movement. You must have seen that time and time again every practice. You know what it's like. What do you have to do to prevent that? Prevent from getting him to the free throw line?
Yes, stopping the ball early is really important. So if you let him get ahead of steam up, you know, by the time he gets downhill, he's already going full speed. You're probably going to have to slide with him in some way to keep in front. And then if there's contact, it looks like you're removing him from his cylinder, which is what the officials have told me. So it's about stopping the ball early, finding him when that shot goes up. He's always trying to find the outlet, which is you know, smart on his part.
Well, Basel fans, it is indeed the end of the first quarter when the Plymouth City Patriots do have the lead. We're live here at the Plymouth Pavilions. This is the British Basketball League, and we will be back very shortly. Well, welcome back, Basel fans. We are live here at the Plymouth Pavilions for this game between the Plymouth City Patriots and the Manchester Giants. Well, I'm your commentator, Josh Bennett, alongside Kimball McKenzie of the Leicester Riders. You know, Kimball, Giants have really struggled here to get into a consistent rhythm. What are they? Well, here you can see a wide open layup. I was going to say, well, they need to change, but it looks like Plymouth just gave them an early invitation.
That helps. They went into a little stagger. The guy coming off rejected it, and then they forgot to guard the ball. Yeah, 13 points in the first quarter isn't ideal. I'm sure Plymouth will be happy with that number. yeah, they need to get that ball zipping around a little bit, maybe get some stops and get some easy ones in transition.
Well, Terrell Green finding Copeland. Drawing the foul here. That's going to be against Stampley. Stampley had his hands up, but in that case, Copeland against Stampley on the perimeter. I mean, that should be a mismatch.
It should be. I've really liked watching Cameron Copeland since coming into the league. He's got some really good size at the guard spot, can play above the rim. He can make tough twos and step beyond the line. So I've been impressed with his game. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Baseline possession to the Patriots. It's Elvisi Dusha trying to get this one inbound, finding Spencer Levi. Well, Levi going, it was actually Dusha, but Levi trying to go over the tip, but good job by William Lee. Giants looking to make this a one-possession ball game potentially. Harris coming off one screen. Lee going for the pop. There's the three, it's up. And again, Giants struggling here from the perimeter. Only 1-3 coming from Nick Stampley.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get a better look than that for, you know, Will Lee on the pop, wide open. I believe that's his first field goal attempt of the game. So, you know, if I'm the point guard for Manchester, I'm thinking, how can I get Will Lee going right now?
Well, there's another Eurostep by Evan Walsh, just a little too strong off the backboard. Plymouth get it back, leading by 5 points. Copeland dissects, goes in, hangs in. That's a tough play by Cam Copeland.
It makes it look easy, right? He's a big guard, so by the time he gets downhill he's in the air, it's a simple, he just drops it right in. You know, that's sometimes why having that length and size is so important in this game.
Well, Harris again finding a little bit of space and already looking comfortable every time he's come off that ball screen.
Yeah, especially to his left hand. I think that's the first thing you got to talk about if you're trying to defend him. He wants to get to that left. They just ran a little Spain pick and roll, it's called, when, you know, you screen the guy who screened the ball, and they just didn't communicate it right.
Well, Spencer Levi's getting a foul. He's going to get the and one. And that's a worrying sign there because although he tried to contest the shot down low, Evan Walsh has hit the ground, so hopefully he's okay, but great job by Spencer Levi. You made an interesting point there. You talked about the Spanish pick and roll. Now, many Basel fans will be unaware of that. Can you explain to our viewers what is a Spanish pick and roll?
So yeah, it can be referred to a couple different things. Some people call it a stack. We call it Spain pick and roll. Basically, when the ball handler gets a screen from typically a big man, and then another player coming from behind screens the big man's defender. So it just puts you in a tough spot. Almost everybody runs it in some capacity these days. And you just really have to communicate it. You have to have a game plan for it, and you have to communicate it. It didn't look like Plymouth had a game plan there as Harris got to his left hand for a little short jumper.
What's interesting, the Spanish pick and roll you mentioned, it's had many different names over the years. It's been around for a very long time, but infamously, it was put into the Spanish national team's offense by one Scariolo, where he gets the name Spanish pick and roll.
There you go. I didn't know that. I'm glad I'm here with a historian. Yeah, it's a tough action to defend. And as the guard, you kind of see who's open. You can read that low defender pretty easily. It's an action that, you know, we run a lot, and like I said, almost everyone runs it these days.
Well, Brian Simonian, again, just trying to find a way to motivate his players on side. I mean, collectively, Giants, you know, as we say in the United Kingdom, they're like a bag of rebels. You know, when they're good, they're actually quite good. But when they're not so good, you can definitely see that evident, as we've seen in like the last 4 games, obviously. But, you know, there's talent in this team, but, you know, they are down 2 key players. But where has the consistency gone wrong for them this season?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, obviously injuries don't help. Jamel Anderson has missed a bunch of games for them. He's a veteran presence who's pretty reliable. He always works hard on the defensive end, brings some shot making to the team. You know, this game of basketball, it's a fickle game where, you know, things aren't going quite right. Guys don't feel like they're involved. Whatever it may be, tough move there.
Well, Copeland going coast to coast. He's unable to finish.
Yeah, it can be a host of things, but it's just been their consistency. It's been their consistency in their approach.
Well, the transition defense, you can say there was a scramble, but you cannot leave TJ Atwood wide open from the mid-range.
Not a good idea. I'm pretty sure that the numbers would suggest. Here's another Spain pick and roll.
Well, Stampley's made 1-3. That's just a little too strong. And again, Spencer Levi securing the rebound.
Good pass.
Finds Copeland, 3 in transition, top. Beautifully tucked away And it's all Plymouth City Patriots.
It's an underrated pass there by Dusha. You know, catches it, catches the rebound or gets a quick outlet, and then right away his eyes go up. He fires a baseball pass down right on target for an open three.
Well, Harris turning it over. Spencer Levi, have we got bunnies going up? Well, bunnies?
Maybe, yeah. That's the rim graze package on NBA 2K, I think the kids call it these days.
I think he's just happy he got the 2 points. The timeout's going to be called by Brian Simone. His team currently trail by 14 points. But again, it's the same story. Giants turn it over. Plymouth, they do a great job of converting those turnovers into transition buckets. I mean, this one came off a rebound, but again, too much time and space.
Yeah, he's been awesome. Copeland's been really good for them, but that's a great pass up the sideline. You got to just get someone closing out to it and trust the backside of your defense. You know, you give this Plymouth team, especially at home, open looks, turnovers for runouts, open mid-range shots for Atwood. They're going to get rolling.
Well, already 11 fast break points for the Plymouth City Patriots, only 2 for the Manchester Giants. But you know, a problem, as we mentioned, Giants have to take care of the ball, because if you don't, Plymouth, they're hungry right now. There might not be any playoffs for them for both these two teams, but if I'm looking at one team that wants to win this, it's Plymouth City Patriots.
Yeah, you got to give them credit. You know, they've been out of this playoff picture, you know, for the last couple games, realistically. But they bring it. They bring it. They show up, and they're trying to win the game. They've been playing really good offense. And like you said, when you turn the ball over or you give them second chance points, those two things, that's going to really get them rolling on offense and probably give them some energy for the defensive end.
Again, having one of the most legendary coaches in British basketball, one infamous Paul James, who was a great player, and he, you know, was actually from Leicester as well, funny enough. Of course, he was a great player for the Riders back in the day. And you can see 4 out of 5 for second chance points for the Plymouth City Patriots. You know, I got to give a lot of credit to the Patriots. So defensively, they've been good in this game so far.
Yeah, they've been pretty solid. Now, you know, I don't know if Manchester's been very technically sound offensively, but you see these guys are all locked in and engaged and trying. Nice shot.
Second 3 of the game for the Giants coming from Evan Walsh. And, you know, he's the kind of player, if he gets between 20 and 25 points, Giants, they play a lot better.
Yeah, he's been their spark off the bench, and he's gonna need to be good today. They need to try and get Will Lee going. They're gonna need some performances today down in Plymouth if they want to win this game.
Copeland coming off a curl screen, trying to go for a fadeaway. And that's simply automatic. I mean, you are not stopping that mid-range from Cam Copeland.
It's tough, man. He's a big guard. He gives you a little bump, and there's not much you can do about that. They ran him off a couple staggers, gives a little bump, and it's just smooth. He's been good.
5:49 to go in the second quarter. Copeland putting his hand in the passing lane, making life difficult for the Giants offensively. Again, this home crowd. Kimball, you know what it's like to play in this arena. We mentioned it already, passionate fans, and that's all they want right now. They know the playoffs are not coming for a second season, but if you give them hard work, if you give them a bit of fight, they will be loyal to you.
Those are the shots there, which, you know, if I'm a coach, I'm a little frustrated. You know, we're down 13 with a full clock, well, maybe not quite a full clock, but those can be tough to come back from.
Well, Green contested, hand his face, can't get it. Nobody on the weak side of Boursier does enough there of keeping Atwood off the offensive rebounds.
You hear the fans there. Like you said, you know, these fans, I saw a group of them, I was watching them play in Bristol, and they won the game, and you would have thought they just won the world championship. You know, they're passionate. They want to see effort out of their team, and that's awesome to see.
Walsh going baseline, kicking this one out. 7 there on the shot clock as Lewis has to isolate.
Good pass.
He's made 1 3, but he's unable to get this one. Well, they're going to call the foul on TJ Atwood, and Paul James is infuriated. He felt the foul should have been called on Austin. Yeah.
That's his second, I believe, as well. That's important.
Let's have a look at the replay. Well, Lawton's in front. I mean, they're both locked up. That's a tough one to call.
It's a tough one. It's always a tricky one when you see those arms locked up. There's Walsh again. There you go. He's getting comfortable there beyond the arc.
2 threes from the former Leicester Rider, cutting it down to a 10-point ball game. We're under 5-minute mark here in the second quarter. Copeland guarded by Lewis. Pulls up for a tough 3. That time William Lee may have got away with a push in the back, but now you can see already Walsh trying to push the tempo. Well, Boursier may have taken a few steps there, but I didn't know the travel card worked all the way down here in the Southwest, but Copeland now with a bit of time. Patriots just trying to reestablish some offense, trying to build it and reassert their identity. 10 here on the shot clock. As Green has a mismatch, got it by Lewis. Bumping goes up, tough move. That basketball at the moment refusing to obey the laws of gravity, and the foul has been called, so Terrell Green will be going to the charity stripe, and he is a very, very versatile player.
He is, yeah, he can.
Well, Basel fans, we're going to take a short break, and as always, we will be back momentarily. Well, welcome back, Basel fans. You can already see Evan Walsh, 8 points, 2 rebounds, and, he might be the one driving force here for the Giants, Kimball McKenzie.
Yeah, they were down 13 there, and he's made a couple big shots to just kind of keep them within a striking range here. Really important going into the half to kind of keep this within 10 or less. He's made a couple big shots. I think he understands the moment. And, yeah, 6 of them from beyond the arc.
Terrell Green, a 70% free throw shooter, making 1 for 2 from the charity stripe. There's another play that when he gets cooking from the perimeter, Plymouth, they play with a different swagger.
Oh, we've seen it. When we were down there, he gave us 30. I think he was 8 for 10 from 3, and 6 of them must have been heavily contested. So he's one of these guys that once he gets going, he's hard to stop.
Evan Walsh is getting called for the offensive foul. 3:54 to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, it's a good call. It's a good job by Spencer Levi. He's another big. We were talking about Lawton earlier. That's another big who will step in and take a charge. It's such a big play when you consider you gain possession. Somebody on the opposing team gets a foul. It's taking a charge is always a big play.
Well, it's very interesting that we do have 7 players of Plymouth on the score sheet right now in this game, as they do have collectively 34 points, not the 23 for Manchester. Only 3 players on the score sheet, and only one of them is on the floor at the moment, Nick Stampley.
Wow.
Well, excuse me, Evan Walsh. Stampley's on the bench, but a deep 3 coming. Now, you may have heard what I said on the previous play. If he gets cooking, Plymouth, they may start to turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, listen, he does not have a shy bone in his body.
Guys, we have a feed issue. Guys, can you hear us? Yeah, but it's shaky with us as well.
Tyrell Green, I mean, he does not have a shy bone in his body. Obviously, here's Nick Lewis.
Well, Lewis went for the 3-pointer. Lawton getting the offensive rebound while both of them fought for it. They could have got it together, but in the end, well, Green going for three in transition. Well, it's actually Copeland, my apologies. As the Giants trailer by 14. Trying to go to Boursier. Can he go for a three-pointer here? And again, it's a good look, but this is what they need now. Offensive rebounds. But no second chance points here, Kimball.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I know Plymouth has a bunch, and good for Will Lee there to get involved and go in there and grab a rebound for his team. I'd love to see Lawton try and go get closer to the hoop. I think he's settled for a couple jumpers there. I'd love to see the big fella try and use his body and go and play physical in there.
Well, Basel fans, we do apologize for the technical difficulties we are facing right now with the broadcast, as we are getting them sorted out. As now Evan Walsh looking to go to double digits at the moment, but he just fumbles it. Well, they're going to call a jump ball, but that's still going to remain possession to the Plymouth City Patriots. And Kim, well, I don't know. It looks. I tell you what, off the court, he is possibly one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. But what I love about Evan Walsh, he is just a true competitor on the floor.
Yeah, he's fiery, man. He's fiery and he wants to win. So I can always respect that. You know, he gives these refs a little heck. So, yeah, it would have been nice to see Manchester, you know, finish out that play. It's these little plays, you know, where they have a wide open layup and the pass isn't quite on time. That can really hurt you.
Well, going for a little pick and roll there. But again, just doing enough to get the offensive rebound. Copeland bumps inside the paint, goes up with it. And it's all Plymouth City Patriots.
Stuff. He's been good today. He's been locked in. And, you know, as I said, that smooth game. He can kind of get whatever shot he wants because of his size. And he's making them.
26 points inside the paint as Sampley penetrates. He's unable to get anything. Hawk comes up with a rebound, and this could become a calamity for the Giants unless defensively they sort themselves out. Dusha finds Hot. Wide open three is up, and again it's good. And Plymouth City Patriots, Kimball, they're cruising.
Oh, man, this is what, you know, we came out of the last break talking about that 10-point deficit. Now it's ballooned up to 19. That's an awful couple minutes here for Manchester. It's the last thing you wanted.
Well, Lewis going for a quick three-pointer. Back on, he's unable to connect. Lawton knocking out of bounds. And that's going to go back to the City Patriots. 36.8 seconds left here in the first half. This has been a total capitulation from Manchester's behalf.
Yeah, you know, quick shots, ill-advised threes, not finishing around the basket, second chance points for Plymouth. You know, you can go down the list, and all those little things that really contribute to winning. Plymouth is doing better right now.
And that's team fouls, so LVC Dusha will be going to the charity stripe and a chance to make this potentially a plus 20-point lead as we head into the final 25 seconds. You know, I've got to ask the question. They've had a lot of changes this season. Players coming out, players coming in. If you had this core of players at the beginning of the season, could they have been a playoff contender?
That's a great question. Yeah, I mean, as of late, they've looked like a pretty good ball club. And, you know, they have good balance as well. You know, you see guys coming off the bench and contributing. Cameron Copeland, Ty Green. They have offensive rebounding and Spencer Levi. Obviously, they have their, you know, their main guys there at the 4 spot. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty tough team to defend and play against lately.
Well, 1 second difference between game and shot clock. And again, basketball fans watching live on TikTok, Twitch, and the British Basketball YouTube, we do apologize for the technical difficulties we are facing as a foul has been committed by Joe Hart, but it's only the second team foul for Plymouth with 16.9 to go. Well, Giants, I guess they'll be looking for the halftime break already because, I mean, relatively, it was a close game at one point.
It was, yeah, just moments ago, 10 points, and yeah, just not how you want to finish out a half. They're going to come out here in the second half and just feel like they have such a big hill to climb. It's just sloppy offense out of them right now.
Well, there you go, the end of the first half, and indeed, Plymouth City Patriots, they have turned this one around at Kimball. I mean, I asked the question, keep this Plymouth team at the beginning of the season, it could have been a different ending for them.
Yeah, great question. You know, they've been really good as of late. Obviously, we were speaking about it earlier. They've beat Caledonia twice at home. They've beat us, Leicester at home. They've beat London at home. So this isn't a team that isn't able to pull out wins. I think it's just been their consistency, their roster consistency. Yeah, that has hurt them throughout the season.
Well, we are going to take a short break, and we will be back momentarily. Welcome back, Basel fans. It's second half between the Plymouth City Patriots and the Manchester Giants here at the Plymouth Pavilions, where it's fair to say, Kimball, it's been a one-sided affair in the second quarter. I mean, Plymouth, they went on to a whole different level.
It has, yeah. I mean, they're just getting contributions from all over the place. You know, they're staying about their business. They're capitalizing on Manchester's mistakes. You know, I thought Cam Copeland off the bench was awesome. Atwood and Wiley kind of doing what they always do, scoring around the rim. They just have better balance right now. Manchester looks a little scattered. You know, they're forcing some stuff. They're turning the ball over, so definitely a better half there for Plymouth.
Well, let's go and take a look at some of the key statistics here from the first half. And, you know, having looked at this, what stands out to you the most?
The field goal percentage is right off the bat. That 2-point percentage for Plymouth is pretty staggering, 65% compared to 35% for Manchester. And then, yeah, basically all the other stats in terms of total, they're getting out rebounded. 13 assists for Plymouth is an awesome number and a half. 9 turnovers for Manchester, on pace for 18. You know, these are all looking in favor of Plymouth, and that's why they're up 21.
Well, of course, the rebound count going in favor of the Patriots, everything going in their favor. But now let's go and look back at some of the key moments as we give you the tale of the half. Well, you know, this game started out relatively competitive right from the get-go, but, you know, right there you can see, does Austin Lawton get that assist?
Yeah, good question. You know, Plymouth was just a team that looked a little bit more ready to play. We spoke about it. You know, they look like they came out here and they're playing in a first-round playoff game. They look like they want to be there. They're playing well. Boom, that's a really nice highlight there by Wiley. Yeah, they just got some juice to them. They're keeping about their business, so this is how they've been playing the last, you know, handful of games. And then on Manchester's side, you know, it's ill-advised shots at times. You know, it's bad spacing. That's a nice pass there from Lewis to Stampley for the 3, but just not a complete offense. They just don't seem as locked in as Plymouth does.
Well, of course, Jules Zanakota coming to the lineup, playing a few minutes, but here's a player that you've been big on. He's come off the bench, and he's played invaluable minutes for the Patriots.
I've really liked Cam Copeland's game. He lets the game come to him. He comes off the bench. He can really stroke it. And then with his size, he can get in the paint, finish at the rim with ease. You know, against us, he had a really big dunk down the lane. You know, tough in the mid-range, using his body there. Tyrell Green. So you see Plymouth with contributions from all over the place. Joe Hart's hit a corner three. Spencer Levi's been doing his job on the glass. That's what you want out of a team. If you want to come out and get a win, they're getting contributions from all over the place.
Well, of course, Basel fans, it is halftime, but we're going to leave you with the top 10 plays of Week 25. But before that, you get to see Kimball McKenzie and the Leicester Riders as they took on the Bristol Flyers.
Ball knocked around, rebounding, usually a specialty of the Bristol Flyers, but this time it is a specialty of Sam Adowu.
Good job by Bristol to get that back.
Contact made, no foul called, bucket drops.
This is nice.
Deep range three.
Ooh! Let me just be quiet on that one, Todd.
From the Midlands, that's three. Ooh, and another deep range three, courtesy of Trajan Jacob. Shots coming and shots falling, and what a stroke for Trajan Jacob. Back-to-back monster threes for the dunk specialist. And how about this? Key with the icing on top.
Here's something nice.
Up
Good
and
offense.
under, and that'll be an and one. Teddy Allen now. All kinds of creativity and Teddy buckets. Going left end, puts it up with the right. Kimmel McKenzie with a beautiful fake, and the Canadian gets to the rim and puts in another bucket. Deep range three off balance, and that does nothing but net. Don't hang your head, Kimmel McKenzie. There's nothing you can do about that. Another turnover, so TJ Law's got a wide open Teddy Allen. He'll take the three. Kimmel McKenzie trying to get the ball as he gets a shove off on Tajon Lucas. Lucas sells it, the refs don't buy it. Slicing, dicing, cuts in, kicks it back out. And that was a beautiful no-look coming off the hands of Lucas to get it to Brad Green. And this is watch out time for the Leicester Riders as everything is falling for the Bristol Flyers.
Oh,
Which is now ballooned to 18, which could now, nice leave. Again, oh! And Adowu is gonna just rue the day that he didn't put that one down, because that was wide open, and that's got three. That is a 5-point swing. Well, where do you go from here? A deep range three there, and that has been the one bright spot for the Leicester Riders. Unfortunately, that basket is not worth 18 points.
Fantastic job by Bristol. I felt like they did a wonderful job managing this game.
Fourth quarter, Holden spins, is stripped away by Plymouth. Atwood, nice pass, and Cam Copeland finishes.
Yeah, the fans are starting to get back into it. Lots of time and only 15-point deficit.
Teddy Allen up and looking. He'll score as soon as he crosses the line, and that might be the craziest shot we've seen all night.
Just takes off, floats towards the rim.
Gets it back at the top of the three-point line. Aaron Wright, let's go dancing.
Nice spin, nice finish on the right side.
That ball picked off in midair by Pipkins. They've got numbers 3-on-1. Leave it for the big man. And a throwdown by Malik Green.
Good break there from the Sheffield Sharks, 3-on-1. And they capitalized it with a flying dunk from Green.
Ball knocked away nicely by Myron Thomas. The big man goes behind his back and off the glass.
Wow, DIY, do it yourself. Myron Thomas showing us all his array of skills on that play.
He certainly moved more there. Lobbed up to Moore at the other end, and that's that pick and roll we've been talking about.
The connection, Moore's been screaming for it all season.
The Gladiators now, they're not scoring at quite the same rate as they were. As Delpesh cocks one back and stuffs it with his right hand this time. He can get up there, big fella.
Oh my goodness! Bennett Cook!
Wow, the big guy with a hammer.
Thomas, the pump fake, he's going all the way again, and oh my goodness!
Whoa, take a breath to here, because that was an incredible block by Delpesh.
Well, he had a second to drill. Oh! From three-quarter court, Keedy Johnson. What a way to finish the third quarter. I was just about to say he had a second for a dribble there, but what did he need? He didn't need it, just threw it.
Welcome back, Basel fans. The second half is about to get underway here between the Manchester Giants and the Plymouth City Patriots. Well, this is the British Basketball League. I'm your commentator, Josh Bett, alongside Leicester United superstar Kimball McKenzie. Kimball, so far in this game, I mean, Plymouth have been great, but one player is coming to mind, Cam Copeland. He has been phenomenal.
Definitely. He came off the bench for him in this second quarter, and he's been really effective. Like I mentioned, you know, he has a lot of size for his position. He's a big wing. I think one of the things to note about all these baskets is he's comfortable. You know, he comes off the ball screen with no show, gets right to the hoop, wide open three. Here he's kind of operating with nobody else digging in to help Evan there. You know, he's been comfortable, and you know, when a guy like that is comfortable at that skill level, he can really be effective.
Well, many Manchester fans tuning into this game on YouTube, TikTok, and of course, Twitch, as we stream this game in the British Basketball League. But, you know, they're down by 21. It's all about pride. Neither of these two teams can qualify for the playoffs. But when you're down by 21, Kimball, you got to find other ways to get back in the ball game.
Yeah, you know, come out here and try and make the first run. You know, if you can throw the first punch and make Plymouth call the first timeout, that's a good sign. Plays like this aren't going to, there we go, okay, got it back.
I was going to say Spencer Levi just maybe wanted that possession a little bit more. It's now Stampley wide open for three. That's two good looks, but they're unable to knock him down. But, I mean, the high percentage looks, of course.
Yeah, two good looks there. You know, maybe a rush possession, but two looks that you'd probably, you know, like if you're Manchester.
Well, Wiley bumping inside the paints. Atwood down the middle, hangs up in the air. It's going to be a blocking foul. So 2 free throws coming up for TJ Atwood. The foul was on Austin Lawton. Again, Basel fans, if you are watching this game live on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the British Basketball League on YouTube. And please follow the British Basketball League on X, Instagram, and Twitter, and all other social media platforms. Same goes if you're watching live on TikTok. Make sure you hit the like button. Well, Atwood has been their best player so far this season. Currently now making this a 22-point ball game. But you know, it's interesting. The first time these two teams met was obviously back in the 2021-22 season. You guys were league champions that year. You also won the playoff championship against the London Lions. And it was one GM of the Surrey Scorchers, Dan Clark, that hit a three-pointer to kind of take that game into overtime. Now, you have to remember, that was the return of Kofi Jovis back to the British Basketball League. I think he had something over 50 points in that game. And Plymouth, from that point on, they brought in Boo Williams, brought back Rashad Hassan back to Plymouth, and they became the most exciting team in the league that year.
Yeah, they were really exciting. We were speaking about it earlier. We had met them in the playoffs, had a nice, comfortable 18-point lead in an aggregate 2-game series. At one point back at, you know, formerly Morningside Arena, it was tied aggregate. So yeah, it was a team that had a lot of excitement. Like you say, the fan base they have, the crowd, you know, this team has the potential to, you know, be a really awesome team in this league.
I mean, it was almost like the iceberg had hit the Patriots last season because there was so much expectation for them going into last year's 2022-23 season. But, you know, players that obviously left. Boo Williams went to Iceland, I think it was. Rashad Hassan ended up losing. And, you know, it was quite a devastating end. And, you know, they're trying to pick up the pieces slowly. But who knows? Keep this group of players together next year. This could be a team that competes in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's the challenge, isn't it? Bringing back a guy like TJ Atwood. You know, if we're being honest, in the retrospect of professional basketball, he just had an awesome year. Do you have the money to pay him? You know, this is a lot of these guys playing, you know, at every level are always looking at the next step. You know, that's the reality of professional basketball.
Well, Plymouth did out-rebound Manchester in the first half. Now you can see offensive rebound as Atwood misses from the mid-range. And that's something the Giants cannot afford to give away too much of. And another turnover. You know, VC with the good hands. Only Jacob Wiley running with him. Try to find Spencer Levi down the middle, but the big man didn't see it coming. That's tough when you go through your transition breaks, of course, because you're always shouting at a center, run trailer. But when you run trailer, you got to be ready for the ball.
Yes, absolutely. It can be a tricky spot for the bigs. The faster they can get down to that rim, the better. You know, I think really important for the other players to space properly, to get all the way down to the corners. And that should make the guard's decision fairly easy. A little sloppy here to start the third quarter.
Austin Lawton looking for the foul inside the paint. It's not going to be given, but there's 8 seconds left on the shot clock here for the Manchester Giants. Plenty of time to get the ball inbound and get an isolation, but now time is really running down for them. Lewis has got to get a handoff. He's got to shoot this one. Hand in his face, puts it up. He's had his struggles here this evening, but credit to Plymouth. Their defense making everything very tough for Nicholas Lewis.
Yeah, they're working hard on that end. You know, Manchester doesn't seem to be really working for the best shot they can get. It's kind of, you know, your turn, my turn. Let's see if I can find my way by someone. Let's see if I can get a shot up instead of really moving the ball and putting pressure on Plymouth's defense.
Well, they tried to go for the lob with Jacob Wiley, and Mason Boursier just put himself into a very good position to try and prevent that alley-oop as becomes a Plymouth City Patriots turnover.
Let's see what Manchester gets into here, see if they can get a good shot.
Let's find William Lee. This is what he likes to do, but again, Can't say it's not a good look, of course, but it's just not dropping for them tonight.
That's a great look. I mean, that's a great look for William Lee at the top of the circle. That's one that, you know, he'll usually make. And yeah, he's been pretty quiet this game. I'd like to see him get a couple touches in the mid post. He has a really nice one dribble pull-up game, and he's one of these guys that can really go get you a bucket. So if they're going to get back in this game, I think he's going to have to step up.
Well, another blocking foul is going to be called against Austin Lawton. I think his reaction says it all. Second blocking foul against Lawson here in the third quarter. Jacob Wiley will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, he was probably a little late there rotating, and it looked like Wiley had bad intentions coming off that little short roll. Looked like he was getting ready to take off and make another highlight. Lawton obviously tried to step in, but he was just a little late rotating.
You know it's coming, don't you? He sets that screen, he rolls right to the basket. He is ready to eviscerate anybody or anything that's in front of him.
Yeah, he sure is. I mean, he's a walking highlight. We've seen it time and time again this year. And one of these guys that knows how to find the pockets well. You know, being a point guard, playing with guys that know how to find that passing lane and know how to kind of slide into it. It's an underrated skill for a forward, let's say. You know, he slid right in there, made an easy pocket pass, and then was ready to go and try and get a bucket.
Wiley makes both free throws. Patriots again in total control of this game at the moment. 6:35 to go here in the third quarter at the moment.
Walsh back in pretty early for Manchester. You know, I think Coach Simonian understands that if he doesn't make something happen soon, then this game could be out of reach.
Well, Nick Stampley drawing the foul, so now he'll go to the free throw line. Interesting, you know, like yourself, I mean, you were coming off the bench quite often in your time with the Leicester Riders, but Rob Paternoster likes you coming off the bench. The only other player of a very high level I can think of is one Theodoros Papaloukas, who did play for the Greek national team, was a many-time EuroLeague champion, defeated the United States in 2006. He was arguably the best point guard in Europe, but he came off the bench for both club and country. And, you know, explain to our viewers, why would a basketball coach want a top player to come off the bench?
Yeah, listen, so, you know, when they go to make that rotation, let's say it's 5 minutes into the game, you know, the first 5 are probably a little gassed. Typically, your bench is playing against a couple of their bench guys. It's a really important time to make up some points. You know, I think with some of our best teams with Leicester in the past couple of years, we've had bench units that can just really outplay the other team's bench units. So, yeah, just that depth, it's a really important aspect of any team.
Well, Walsh going in and around, drawing the foul. He'll go to the free throw line and doing what he does best, getting inside the paints and initiating contact. Well, you know, the thing I would say is it hasn't really gone well for the Giants this year, period. And, you know, if I'm honest, and this is just my opinion, I'm not an expert. I mean, I'd be starting Evan Walsh every game.
Yeah, tricky one, right? You know, we're not the coaches. He's definitely been one of their bright spots. But, you know, like we just talked about, you start Evan, you know, where's your spark? You know, it becomes challenging. So regardless of the lineups, you know, it could be argued for days. It's important to have that depth. It's important to match the lineups well, something that I don't concern myself with because I'm not a coach, but I do understand those dynamics.
Cutting it down to a 19-point ball game. We're on to 6 minutes here in the third quarter. This Manchester Giants, a team that has rich history within the British Basketball League. It's, many might not know this, but one Manchester United actually played in the British Basketball League and took over the rights of Manchester Giants in the late 80s. The team was then rebranded Manchester Eagles, and then it was the second time they came into the league. And as we know, Nick Nurse used to coach this team, but you know, they went defunct in 2002 and only returned to the British Basketball League back in 2012. So it's almost like a phoenix from the ashes, even though we do have a team called the Phoenix that has a name under the same prospect. But, you know, this is a team, Manchester, big city, big fan base back in the day. You know, if Manchester's successful, it's great for the British Basketball League.
For sure. I mean, when you think of, you know, UK cities with sports potential, I think it's got to be there at the top of the list. So, yeah, hopefully in the future they can build up a good roster, a good program. You know, a lot of things have to go right to win a lot of games. So, you know, important here, even at the end of a season, to hopefully try and build some sort of momentum. You know, that carries over season to season. So although both of these teams are out of the playoff picture, building some momentum from one season to the next from the fan base, for players that may be returning, it's really important.
Of course, last season's Giants team arguably was probably more talented than this year, but I'd say the best coached Giants team was back in 21-22 when you guys met them in the former British Basketball Cup. I mean, Lloyd Gardner was there, Jamal Anderson, Danny Clark. That was a very, very good team collectively.
Yeah, you know, I thought they had also a good balance of veterans and young players, young talent. I think that's what oftentimes makes a team successful. Like you say, Dan Clark, Jamal Anderson, two guys with a ton of experience, ton of intelligence. You know, you sprinkle in some talent, you sprinkle in Lloyd Gardner at the helm, and that's a good basketball team there. And unfortunately, you know, they ran into us, and at that time were
unfortunately
pretty tough to beat. But yeah, that was a good Manchester team there.
Okay, but going back to that previous offense by the Plymouth City Patriots, Manchester playing that 2-3 zone defense. The issue I have defensively, it was way too easy for Wiley to get into the high post with the ball on the perimeter.
Yeah, like we mentioned, you know, when you're attacking a zone to get it to that high post, especially to a versatile player. Here's Atwood for three. A versatile player like Wiley, you're going to be in trouble because he can face up and shoot the jumper. He can face up and take you to the net. And then if you collapse the defense, nice move.
That's smooth. That's tough. And again, that's 6'3" doing against 6'10". But we're going to have a short little break, and we'll be back momentarily. Well, Basel fans, we're returning now here for the third quarter. The Plymouth City Patriots still holding on to a big lead against the Manchester Giants. 4:14 to go. Currently live here with Leicester Riders, Kimball McKenzie. And, well, Giants, possession by possession. You know, plenty of time left in this game. But Kimball, we've seen on both ends of the floor. You know, is it X's and O's? Is it hard? What is it? What do the Giants need to change?
That's a tough question. That's a tough question. It's just being a little sloppy. Sometimes you see that coming out at halftime. You get that 15-minute break, and guys are a little stiff or just not quite locked in. It seems like both teams are being a little sloppy here, but this is the time. If you're Manchester, this is the time you have to make a 8-0 run, you know, get some stops. LVC just threw it away, so now's the time to try and make something up.
Stafford got his own rebound. A foul's going to be called, so William Lee will go to the free throw line. A chance to cut this down to a 16-point ball game. Well, Paul James might want to think about signing Pat the Dog next season.
Man.
Are you kidding me?
Get him a contract from behind the head. I don't know if I've ever made one of those. I've shot plenty. That is one hand behind the head. And by the way, he's wearing he or she, I'm not sure, is wearing a massive costume. That's pretty darn impressive. That might be the most impressive thing we've seen all night.
Is it a man or is it a real dog? Of course, that's what I want to know. Or is it Paul Nicholson dressed up as Pat the Dog? Because that's incredible.
What a shot. That's actually really impressive. Maybe I'll go Wiley's dunk and then that as the second highlight of the day. Plays like this, though, where Manchester gets 2 offensive rebounds, they find their way to the line. Okay, down 16. You know, Plymouth has given up some leads at home. They play this fast style that, you know, offers a lot of possessions. So you never know, but it's got to be sooner rather than later if you're Manchester.
Spencer Levi fakes it. Who knew the big man had it in him? Well, that's usually God's move, and he's up or down for faking a triple handoff. But, you know, interestingly, William Lee, that was his first 2 points of the evening.
Yeah, he's been pretty quiet. You know, I'd like to see him be a little bit more aggressive, especially with this small ball lineup. Here's an open 3. There we go.
Oh, I think he heard me.
Yeah, they're playing this small ball lineup with him at the 5. I don't know, or Stampley at the 5, which means Levi's got to be guarding out there on the perimeter. So yeah, it'd be good to see him get going.
Copeland from the mid-range hits the front iron. This time the Giants prevent the Plymouth City Patriots from getting second chances. Lee pump fakes. Slowly trying to build momentum. They were down by 24. It's now only a 15-point deficit. Walsh trying to attack. Bumpy going in, and Evan Walsh doing what he does best.
Yeah, just asserting his will, right? Putting so much pressure on the basket, putting pressure on the referees to make a call. Yeah, it's tough to defend at times.
Again, a key thing for the Manchester Giants. Can they cut it down below single digits? Ducey going for a Hail Murray three-pointer. Doesn't get it, but another offensive rebound. Well, Nick Lewis, not quite sure. I think he kind of mistimed his closeout there because, well, let's go back to, this is why I call him Evan Mobley. Evan Walsh. I mean, he has this Manu Ginobili-esque way of just getting, initiates contact. That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing there, right? Like, if you're an offensive player, Atwood's in pretty good position defensively, and he kind of just wedges his way in there and just puts, like I said, puts pressure on the defense, puts pressure on the rim. There's not necessarily an opening, but he creates one.
Stanley now tried to go for the layup, but he forgot the ball.
Yeah, these are the little plays where, you know, if you're Stampley, just take your time, go get to the other side of the basket. It really matter.
Atwood Eurosteps finds Wiley. He gets fouled. The foul's going to be against Nick Stampley. So Jacob Wiley will be going back to the free throw line. 13-point ball game to the Plymouth City Patriots with 1:51 to go. Now you can start to see Giants looking a little bit fatigued at the moment, Kimball.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like I mentioned, it's these little plays, right? You get a turnover, and instead of going down and, you know, now being down 11, you know, you miss it, they come down with numbers, and now they have 2 free throws to bump it to 15. So, you know, these next 5 minutes, let's say, if Manchester wants a chance to win this game, they're going to have to make a push.
Well, Wiley's missed a few free throws this evening so far for the Plymouth City Patriots, so maybe not the worst foul. So makes a second one, restoring a 14-point lead for the Patriots. Well, Basel fans, do you remember what the All-Star game was like? We're going to show you in the perspective of Kimball McKenzie.
It's a camera. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I got a foul. Oh, yeah. Get out, I want him! Yeah! Leave me alone. Tell him to leave me alone. You're not allowed to guard full court in an All-Star game. Golly. My ball. Give me some gaps. Oh yeah, we like it, yeah! You're off. You said you're not playing D. I got you. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
What was that message? Tell him he can't play defense in the fourth quarter.
No, I was telling Matt Morgan and Sam Decker there that you know, Bozic wanted him out. I think he was doing a load management for his guys
Oh, right,
ahead of
I see.
Euro Cup competition, and I was just ragging on them a bit, saying they weren't playing defense, so their coach was checking them out. Yeah, that was a blast there. I was really just out there wreaking havoc and trying to have a good time, which I think I did.
That was a great event. You can see the rejection coming from Wiley. Well, Patriots come up with it. Copeland, Copeland going in the rounds. Well, if he converted that play, no doubt we were probably going to see that on every social media platform in the world of hoops.
That's tough, man. That's not easy to do. I don't think people realize that throwing it through your legs and wrapping it around on the hop step. This is something that Jamal Crawford used to do. Oof, that's really good, man. And to go to it in a game is quite impressive.
So he went through the legs, hop step behind the back. I'm telling you, he would have just become a world-renowned social media basketball superstar.
That's tough.
Because I would have clipped that and put that on Twitter right away.
That's a tough move. I've done it in practice a couple times, 1-on-0, after practice when I'm working on my game. Sometimes you go behind the back and back behind the back, but it's hard to pull off, especially when you're in the motion of going into your hop step. It's not an easy move to do. It's easy to lose the ball, so yeah, that's tough. It was smooth.
Listen, man, if you ever pull that move off in any game whatsoever, whether it's for the River Lions, Leicester Riders, I'll be buying you a cup of coffee at Starbucks one day.
Fair enough. I can tell you I probably won't. Nice follow there by William Lee, getting himself involved on the O-Glass. I probably will go one direction. If I get cut off, I'll go the other one. That's probably not my game. I'll probably dribble it off my knee if I try and do something like that. But
of course, Coach Vic Law, I don't know what his response would be, but if you make it, Coach Mick Bett's going to be loving that, of course.
Sure, there. Oh, nice
what a play
move
there. CJ Atwood going inside the paint. And just reminding everybody who the better team is at the moment.
Nice move. TJ Atwood in that mid-post is so tough. He's backing him down, and to have the footwork, it looks simple, but to have the footwork to reverse pivot, take the ball with him, he's a matchup problem in that mid-post.
Atwood hesitates. Finds Jules Dancoto left wide open. He fires the three, but unable to extend the lead. Now, Giants can't go for the final shot of the third quarter, trailing by 16 points. Well, this is Lewis's speciality. Trying to come off one ball screen. He's got to go quick here. Time's running out. Is up, and is no good indeed. Well, Basel fans, end of the third quarter, and the Plymouth City Patriots holding on to their lead at the moment. We're going to take a short break, and we will be back momentarily. Well, here's the play from TJ Atwood with the spin out, and again, well, no help side defense, but he had no regard for their feelings whatsoever.
No, he's a killer, man. Like I said, especially in that mid post, you know, you have a guard on him and he has the strength to back you down, and you have a big and he'll kind of just face you up.
Well, this is still coming up, and Stapley's able to finish a layup. Well, 14 points, it's not the biggest deficit to come back from, but consistency, belief, desire, you know, being committed, that's been the issue here for the Giants.
For sure, they need a spark of some sort, and I think they just need to buy in. Couple good offensive plays, you know, it can happen fast, a change in momentum. That helps to start the quarter, a turnover to a layup.
Can they get something quick here? Lewis pulls up for 3 and again. Well, it's not the best, it's not the worst shot, but at the end of the day, he doesn't make it.
Yeah, like you say, you know, if he makes it, awesome. Now we're on a quick 5-0 run to start the quarter, but he misses it, they go back down again too. It's deflating.
Back to a 16-point ball game. Lewis finding Callum Jones. Jones in now under 10 the shot clock, finding Lewis. Got it by Terrell Green. Weighing up his options, but he's going to go down low to Stampley. Stampley taking one too many dribbles, and I think that's going to be a turnover. Yeah. Giants wanted a foul, but not quite sure you're going to get that call, Kimball.
Yeah, obviously we didn't have a good view of it, but again, it's the spacing. It's the typically referees aren't going to reward you if you're going into traffic or you know, trying to wedge your way into, you know, a spot that isn't quite open. It was just their spacing, and it was a little jammed up in there.
Well, Green pump face goes in, getting the floater. That's a tough play. Now, he's played in the CBL as well, I believe.
He has. I've been teammates with him in the past.
Winnipeg, was it, or?
No, I was teammates with him in Guelph.
Guelph, that's it.
And yeah, I mean, a shooter, you know, can really knock down the three. But an underrated part of his game, as we saw there, is his versatility. You know, we saw him take somebody into the post early in the game. He has a nice little drive and float game. So yeah, if used in the right way, he can be really effective. And he's had a couple awesome games for Plymouth.
Well, we're trying to post up here against Stampley. Oh, good defense. Stampley forcing a turnover, but you know, that's the kind of play. That's what you want to see as a coach, but that's not what we haven't seen all game. You know, we have seen in spurts this season, but if you play with that desire, you give yourself a chance to compete.
For sure, yeah, you see Stampley there really fighting around in the post, pushing out TJ Atwood. Like you say, maybe just not quite enough of it, or all 5 guys engaged. You know, defense is a difficult thing. You know, it's got to really be 5 guys connected. You know, it can't be 2 guys trying hard. If the others aren't locked in, then it's going to be a tough game.
Well, good passing for the Patriots. They don't quite get a wide open shot, but it does not matter because Terrell has just put the green light off for the perimeter. That's a big 3-pointer.
I mean, it's a deep 3. It's not necessarily a great shot. You know, maybe not. There's Evan responding, but those are the ones that Tyrell Green can make. Contested, deep. He shoots it with a really high arc, so there's not much you can do about it once he decides he's shooting it.
Lonnie Copeland, we just saw the statistic just earlier. 20 assists so far in the game, making 21 now for the Plymouth City Patriots. And under 10 assists in this game for the Giants, and that speaks volumes, seeing as it is a 21-point ball game.
This is something they've been doing really well, is sharing the basketball. You know, they're getting into that paint and they spray it. They seem like they have an unselfish group right now. Don't really care who's scoring, so they've been rolling offensively.
Well, Cam good at going in and finishing the transition. And I think at the moment, Brian Simone, he has seen enough. It's becoming free for all in the offense for the Manchester Giants. 6:51 to go. Patriots leading by 23 points. You know, we talked about a comeback. It was 14 points, and all of a sudden they go on this 7-0 run. And it's become a problem here. But, well, Basel fans, make sure you tune in, of course, Saturday at 5 p.m. Cheshire Phoenix will be hosting the Surrey Scorchers. They have been a bogey team for the Scorchers. They have caused them all sorts of problems. But can Lloyd Garden and his players make a difference? Bristol Flyers on Sunday, they will be hosting the London Lions, the imperious London Lions. You can watch that at 3 p.m. on the British Basketball League YouTube. But get ready for the big one. On Sunday at 4:30, Caledonia Gladiators will be taking on the Cheshire Phoenix. We are looking at a battle for second place in the British Basketball League. Final game will be on Sunday. Again, it's the old rivalry. These two teams did meet just recently. for Sheffield Sharks to take the win. And we will be back in Manchester. The Giants will be taking on the Sharks. It was only last week. It was the 25th anniversary of when Nick Nurse's Giants lost to Chris Finch's Sharks on the buzzer, which cost him the league.
I saw a clip of that. What a clip. And to see where those two coaches have gone now, coaching, you know, the Sixers, one of the better teams in the East, and then the Timberwolves. Finch has done an amazing job with them. Yeah, I mean, just speaks to the quality of basketball across the world, you know, especially here in the UK. Two of the best coaches in the NBA, you know, kind of starting up in the BBL, which is awesome.
And of course, as you mentioned, just not any two coaches. Nick Nurse going to your native of Canada, winning a championship with the Raptors, now with potentially a championship contender in the Sixers. But Timberwolves, one of the best teams in the Western Conference right now, they could potentially be a championship contender.
Yeah, two quality basketball coaches who do things the right way. You know, I think, you know, a lot of times there's Walsh again for three. He's really had a good game from beyond the arc. I want to say that's his 4th three. So he's been lethal from out there tonight. But yeah, mentioning those two coaches, just coaching the right way, coaching guys hard. You know, it's great to see.
Well, 22 points tonight for Evan Walsh. As you mentioned, 4th three-pointer of the evening. As Callum Jones goes inside the paint. It's a 5-0 run for the Giants. Under 6 minutes to go here. 18 points in separation between these two teams. Plymouth, they've been terrific. But can they just hold on for the final few moments? There's a rebound count, 41-28. Smiley goes to the mid-range. Walsh gets a rebound. That's his 4th rebound of the evening. Walsh bumping, nowhere to go. Okay, now do their confidence a world of good. Stampley fires a 3. And all of a sudden, that 23-point lead has been cut down to 15. 8-0 run for the Giants.
Well, listen, the beautiful thing about the sport of basketball is that a game is never over. You know, I'm sure we've seen crazier comebacks than 15 with 5 minutes left. But it's just about do you have the fortitude? You know, it takes a lot of energy to make a 15-point comeback, but you know, on the right path here for Manchester. Let's see what they can do.
Well, they come up with another rebound. Now run to 5 minutes. Finding Walsh. Walsh nowhere to go. Boursier wide open. 3 is up. That would have been key if he knocked that one down, but that's good execution by the Manchester Giants.
It is, yeah, something that maybe we haven't seen quite enough of tonight out of Manchester. You know, punching the paint in transition, getting a paint touch and kicking out for 3.
Well, Basel fans, we are going to take a short break, and as always, we will be back momentarily. Welcome back, Basketball fans. We're live here at the Plymouth Pavilions for this game in the British Basketball League between the Patriots and the visiting Manchester Giants. Well, we are in the final 4 minutes and 45 seconds. It's currently a 15-point lead to the home team. And, well, Basketball fans, as we head into the final stage of the 4th quarter, please let us know in the comments on YouTube and on TikTok who you believe is your current player of the game. Well, Patriots trying to see this one out. Jules Dangakoto currently in the backcourt along with Joe Hart. Well, Green going for a tough contested three. It's way off the mark, but you know, Giants, we got to make this comeback. They've got to be very, very clinical now.
Has to be right now. You got to get a whole lot of stops. Like again, at these empty possessions, you know, not a bad take by Boursier. I like the aggressiveness downhill. You can't have many more empty possessions.
Well, Hart had the space, but finds TJ Atwood. It goes in with a reverse layup, and it's back to a 17-point ball game.
Good offense there. Two-man game between Joe Hart and Atwood. Good heady pass there, drops it off, and lets Atwood do the rest. 21
field goals inside the paint. It's going to be another Giants turnover. So Patriots will get this one back. Well, 22 points this evening for Evan Walsh. There's no arguments. He's been their best player. He does have 4 rebounds and 2 assists, but it's tough. I mean, you mentioned basketball's a team game. It's never over collectively, but that just hasn't been the case for the Giants in the second part of the season.
Yeah, it hasn't. It hasn't. It's been, you know, a couple guys playing well and the others maybe not quite locked in. You know, the team dynamics can be a very tricky thing in basketball. And yeah, you just see a team that maybe isn't on the same page. Plenty of talent, lots of good professionals, but just not quite on the same page. There's Evan going downhill and with his Euro step and putting pressure on the referees to make a call.
Well, interesting. Harris has only just returned into the game since the first half for the Giants.
That is interesting. I thought he was one of the bright spots there for Manchester in the first half. He had a couple drives, left hand, you know, a couple short jumpers. Maybe there's an injury of some sort that he's nursing that we're not aware of. But that's a great point that we haven't seen much of him, and I thought he's been pretty solid for him.
Well, the free throw has been made. Under 3.5 here in the fourth quarter. Well, Copeland currently in the backcourt along with Joe Hart and Jules Dangakoto. Atwood at the 4. Well, you could argue that Green's at the 4, but you know, it's, as you mentioned before, it's a small ball lineup they've gone to. As Walsh forcing the turnover, it's going to be a jump ball violation. That will indeed favor the Manchester Giants.
Yeah, give Walsh credit. I mean, he's leaving it out there. You know, his team's down 15 with 3 minutes to go. Doesn't seem like a comeback is being mounted at this point, but he's playing hard. He's getting to the hoop. He's getting on the ground defensively. You know, even you know, he's on the officials. You know, you can tell that he cares about winning, which is you can't say enough about that.
Well, this amazing fan base of Plymouth City Patriots fans. They've gone through the highs and the lows of the last 3 seasons. The Patriots, of course, a team that was created due to the liquidation of the former Plymouth Raiders, that is. It's Green inside the paint, little teardrop, and he tucks that one away.
Good basketball by Plymouth. The ball comes up the right side of the floor, gets swung, gets an extra pass to the corner. You know, Jules can probably pull that 3. There's a nice shot there by our guy who hasn't
well, where has he been?
Time. Good question.
It's a very good question.
Yeah, good basketball there by Plymouth. You know, swing, penetration, drops it off. You know, it's good transition basketball.
Well, looking for options, finding Joe Hart off the handoff. Good passing, finding Green in the corner, contested by Harris. Giants looking to go quickly. Harris made his last 3, goes for another one. That's just way off the mark. He's now run to the 2-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Green bumps, goes in, doesn't get the ad one, but he will go to the charity stripe.
Plymouth zipping that thing around. You know, 2 possessions in a row there. Extra passes, patience. Atwood's has the ball in the mid post and goes to an uphill dribble handoff. It's penetrated. It's kicked to the 45. It's swung to the corner. It's good basketball, although it was a missed shot. They're playing pretty snappy offense out there.
Well, Giants Academy prospect Matt Goodwin has checked into the game now. He did come into the game in the matchup against the Sheffield Sharks recently. Because a part of the Youth Academy prospect. It's always good to see young players coming through the ranks and getting a chance to play at this level, because ideally that's what every club should be doing. Having young players through the junior teams going to the second teams and getting this experience, because who knows where his career will be in 5 years' time. Maybe it's with the Giants, maybe it's with the right. Who knows? I mean, it could be anywhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, great point. You know, I bet you he's ready to play right now. You know, super important just to experience it. Here we go. Get a bucket. Good take.
Good and said. No, sir.
There's the length. Yeah, it's important just to get this experience. You know, now when he goes back and plays with the academy, he'll figure, you know what, I've played live minutes at BBL games, and he'll carry that much more confidence.
Well, Gooden goes in the lane. William Lee comes up with a rebound. Another foul has been committed. It's only the second team foul for the Plymouth City Patriots. 82 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Plymouth fans, well, it might not be a playoff season ending for them. Definitely there's been a few cheers for sure. Well, the Plymouth City Patriots also making some changes. Lomeka's coming onto the game. TJ Atwood leaves the game now for the Patriots. He has been terrific as always. Giants unable to get something going. Final 1:10 left here in the fourth quarter. Again, you know, a key aspect in the last few games of these two teams, planning for the future. You know, you mentioned this before. Finding out which players you want to keep, which players you want to bring in. It's obviously the same for every team, but the good thing for these two teams, they've got a bit more time to think about it, of course.
Yeah, they do. Always helps to have turnover of some sort from year to year, to bring back guys that, you know the coach or know the program, know the city. You know, I think it's always important to have some continuity. Obviously, in professional basketball, you're never going to return a whole team. But to have some sort of continuity and guys that you trust to play well is important. There's the young fella trying to get a three up. I love it. Get your shots up. Go get a bucket.
Well, we just heard the word airball, but it indeed did hit the backboard. So I think we can't put that one on him. But, you know, as you said, young fella come into the game. It's your moment. Get the shots up. Get a few points on. Go home. Have a few bragging rights and build on that. Work hard in the summer. You know, young players coming through this league more and more over the years. This is what we want to see. Young British international talent come to the British Basketball League. This is where it should be happening for your career.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a good platform to come in and get better. I think as a young player, anytime I would play against guys that were older and better than me, I always left saying, ooh, I got to get better. You know, whether it's, you know, I couldn't manage to get my shot off, or I wasn't comfortable bringing the ball up the court. You know, you can learn things from guys that are better than you, stronger than you. Yeah, it's really important for one's development.
Well, Harris, of course, making the layup, cutting it down to 12 points. It's Paul Cantwell, the assistant coach of the Giants, telling his players, push up, keep playing, press, but I'm afraid it's just a little too late at the moment. 7 seconds difference between game and shot clock. Copeland looking for the ISO. There's a step back, long contested 2-point. He's unable to connect. Final seconds now for the Giants. Well, again, Basel fans, we do thank you for joining us here live on the British Basketball League YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch page as a pick and pop 3-pointer is made. But at the end of this one, it will indeed be the Plymouth City Patriots who take the victory against the Manchester Giants. And, you know, Kimball, right from the second quarter till now, it was all Plymouth City Patriots.
It was all Plymouth City Patriots. They played good basketball. They had a balanced attack tonight. Contributions from all over the place, and that's why they got the win.
On the end, 77-68 in favor of the Plymouth City Patriots. A big win for Paul James and his team. There will be no postseason for either of these two teams, but always finishing on victories at the end of the season is always a plus, and to always finish on a high note. But I got to ask you, it's been a great game for the Plymouth City Patriots, but as always, who has been the player of the game in your mind?
Yeah, this could go a couple different ways, but I'm going to go with Cameron Copeland. You know, I thought Atwood was awesome out there tonight, but he's gotten enough of these this season. I'll go with Cameron Copeland. He came off the bench. He was super effective. You see solid numbers there, 13, 6, and 3. Plymouth had a balanced attack. They had contributions from all over. They shared the ball well. I thought Copeland was big coming in that second quarter when they really started to separate. You know, scoring from all 3 levels, defending well. I thought he was a spark that helped them get this win today.
Well, Copeland, as you can see there, was only a few rebounds short of getting a potential double-double, but Yeah, very much similar to you. He's coming off the bench, becoming not only an impact player, but also key primetime player for this team. And, you know, who knows? Ask those questions again. Had he been a part of this team at the beginning of the season, along with Spencer Levi from the very beginning, this team maybe it could have, you know, their fortunes could have been very different.
Couple good pieces that they've signed throughout the season. You know, I think we've seen all sorts of great mid-season acquisitions throughout the British Basketball League this season. He's another one, and I think he has a bright future. Like I've mentioned, he's size for position, shot-making ability. You know, coaches and staffs love the ability to switch on defense, and I think he has the ability to do that. So, yeah, a bright future ahead.
Well, let's break this game down as we review the statistics from the entire game. And, of course, you are going to see Plymouth City Patriots in almost every category. And I don't know how else to explain it. It's just Plymouth, they wanted this game. They were just a little bit more hungry.
Yeah, they sure were. And, again, you see double the assists that Manchester had. They out-rebounded them. That's always a big stat to look at. And then the two-point field goal percentage. 62% for the game compared to 37% for Manchester. You can see that Plymouth was the team that wanted to win tonight. They had more depth, and they got the win.
Well, we're going to take a look at some of the key results and upcoming fixtures this weekend in the British Basketball League, and what an exciting week we have ahead of us. Well, unfortunately, Leicester Riders falling short to the Bristol Flyers yesterday. Of course, tomorrow, a big game as the Cheshire Phoenix will be hosting the Surrey Scorchers. That matchup's only gone one way this season. While on Sunday, we have an exciting triple header. The Flyers will be hosting the Imperious London Lions, but the big one will indeed be Caledonia Gladiators versus the Phoenix, a team that could potentially see which team will finish second this year. While we'll top the weekend off, Manchester Giants in the Yorkshire-Lancashire British Basketball League Derby again will be hosting the Sheffield Sharks. Well, it's time to look at the league standings this season in the British Basketball League, and as you can see, neither of these two teams will be qualifying for the playoffs. Both teams locked in at 7 victories. It's all about pride for them. Neither wants to finish bottom of the table, but, you know, the way it's gone for the Giants, you've got to think that might be a reality for them, Kimball.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to finish at the bottom of the table. Obviously, they've had a very tough run of form over the past few months, I guess you could say. Injuries. Without Legend or Burton and without Jamel tonight, doesn't make things easier. The travel doesn't make things easier, but that's the reality of professional sports is, you know, when you're down, nobody's going to feel bad for you. So, yeah, it's been a tough stretch and a good win by Plymouth tonight.
Well, Basel fans, it is a big victory for the Plymouth City Patriots. Again, I'm your commentator, Josh Bennett. I'd like to say a big thank you to Kimball McKenzie for joining us here this evening. You can watch him in action with the Leicester Riders. But for now, it is thank you, good night, and we'll see you soon.